I'll keep it short tonight because I just came in. I've been driving for 10 hours. Well, I felt like I was driving on the road, but I was driving. The rental company gave me an orange Charger, so I was putting it to the test when I was driving from Virginia to Ohio. So,
so you're doing muscle now?
Well, I mean, I work out. I'm a heavy lifter, so
I'm talking about the car, muscle car.
I know. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. So what's going on, Donald? Donald, you the man. So what do you got for us? What's your experience today?
What have you been? I'm sorry, I just jumped off camera. What was that? Say that again, please.
I said, do you have any experiences for us today? Do you have any stories for us today with your live shipper, carrier, brokering experiences?
No, not really anything to talk about today.
Okay.
Kind of took it easy.
Okay, so we were in the process of, when we were talking with you, because I want all the other new brokers who are applying and trying to catch up to you. You're like the Usain Bolt of Freight Broker 101.
I appreciate that.
Oh, we got some hands raised. LaDonna, you got your hand up.
Yes, hello. Hi, everyone. Since we're on you, Donald, can you tell us what you did today as a freight broker? How did your day consist today?
Very good question.
I didn't do much of anything today. I made a few phone calls. Spent a good portion, and I hope it's not too loud. If it's too loud, let me know. I can bring the mic down some.
No, it's perfect.
It's perfect. Okay, so basically today I took care of some of the, just making sure these two carriers get paid. Took care of that part of it, sending the paperwork up to the factoring company.
So let me stop you there. So because everything that you say, I want to kind of, if we can break it down to its very common denominator, I guess you will. So when a carrier gets paid from a broker, it varies, right? It depends on whether the carrier has a factoring company or not. So we are assuming with your situation, Donald, that your carrier has a factoring company, right?
Yes.
So
one I'm paying for, and the other one does have factoring.
Okay, so the one that has factoring, the carrier had to send you a copy of that POD.
Yes.
Okay. Did the carrier send you anything else as proof or any other type of paperwork?
Well, we have invoice. So I have invoices, the proof of delivery, and along with their their carrier agreement, the information that was given prior to them actually putting a load on their back.
What about the rate confirmation?
Oh yes, of course. The signed rate confirmation goes to the factoring company as well.
Okay.
And that's just for payment.
Okay. Now, in cases where, because you said you had a carrier who has a factoring company, and you have a carrier who also does not have a factoring company, correct?
Right. So I'll give some clarification. One carrier that I did a one-time credit request through their factoring company. So I actually had to call their factoring company and request to, get the approval so that they can get paid quick pay. So that particular client is now, I sent everything through my factoring company, which in turn reaches out to their factoring company, and they'll issue payment basically once everything is properly, proper electronic handshakes are made and so forth.
Okay, so let me circle back with that. So for carriers who don't have factory companies and you want to give quick pay, because your loads are factored loads, correct? That you get from your shipper.
Some are, but the majority of the busiest shipper I have right now, he is not factored because he's kind of messed up his credit rating because he's paying off a little too late.
Okay, so the one that you did that was a quick pay today, was that load a factored load on your side?
It was factored on their side. My side is going to be 30 net 30 as far as what I receive in return.
Okay, so you're going to invoice your shipper and it's going to be net 30, but the carrier's factory company is going to pay the carrier and then just wait for your net 30 from your shipper.
That's correct.
Okay. Just want to make sure everybody's hearing that. So I know what was going to happen. I just want people to hear it, you know. So, so the concept of with brokers is you can offer payment options to your carriers who do not have factoring. Quick pay, wire transfer, ACH, and paper check. So let me, before we proceed, Kilbert, Mr. Kilbert has his hand raised.
Hey, what's going on? My question was around what we're talking about now, factoring companies. And Mr. Donald said something on Tuesday that had me kind of stuck when you were talking about having to find a factoring company to factor the load, like some loads you were dealing with. Now, is that because, and you may have already answered this in this conversation, that particular shipper credit was not up to standard, so you were trying to shop around to find someone to work with that particular load? Or like, what does that actually mean when you're saying you're trying to find a factoring company to factor a load if you already have one on board? Because I'm in the process of trying to find a factoring company now.
So you're speaking from a broker's perspective, finding
right.
a factoring company. So if you are a broker, you want to have, especially if you're a new broker and you don't have the cash flow to keep your carriers afloat. In other words, pay them because once carriers deliver, they're expecting to get paid within a decent amount of time. They cannot afford to wait the payment terms of the shippers along with the broker, right? So if a broker has factoring, that can kind of mitigate that, right? So,
but what if?
Go ahead.
But when he said that he was looking for one to factor a load, right? Because I'm assuming he already has a factoring company that he's working with, right?
So Mr. Donald, when you made that statement, you said you were looking for a factoring company to factor a load. Was this when you first started your brokerage and you were looking for a factoring company in general?
I think on Tuesday I was referring to, I had a load to move and I started calling because it generated a lot of interest. So I started, as I collected the name and MC number and I was vetting them out, I started contacting, I had them tell me, who do you factor with? Let me know your factoring company. So, and I explained to them that I'm going to see if I can quick pay it through your factoring company, but I'll have to do a one-time, verification, one-time authorization. So that at that point, with the names as they came in, I started calling the factoring companies that they worked with. And the way that works is you call the factoring company up, request to speak to the credit department. You explain to them that you're a broker. When you get the credit department, you tell them that you're a broker, you give them your MC number, and then you tell them the client that they represent, you give them their MC number. And then at that point, that factoring company is either going to tell you, yes, you can do it, and they'll ask you how much is the load, what's the value of the load. You tell them, I'm paying the client $1,800, for example. The factoring company at that point will make a determination based on the creditworthiness of your brokerage, the length of time that your authority has been active, and so forth. And they'll tell you, yes, you're okay. You can, you're allowed to factor it. We will quick play it. Basically, they'll give you an authorization to do it.
So is that authorization? What's that is that like a notice of assignment?
Sort of like a notice. They don't send you anything in paper. They'll put it's an electronic note they'll add to their file for that client. So what happens is I explain to them that I am factoring with my factoring partner. What they do at that point is, now that the notation is in the system, at this point I can tell their client, yes, your factoring company okayed it, and we can proceed and move forward with the processing the paperwork, rate confirmation, and tender, et cetera, to move the load. So I think on Tuesday I was referring to that part of what I was doing. And with respect to that particular client, the way the flow is now, I actually contacted my factoring company. I added that carrier to my list of carriers that are working or have contracted under me. And I notified them of the client's factoring company. So what my factoring company does on the back end now is they send whatever electronic information has to go to them, so that basically they exchange, information and handshake, if you would. So when I actually produce the paperwork to validate the shipment, there's not going to be any hangups along the way. So, and I think that's pretty much what I might have been touching upon Tuesday.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Big Bag Bella.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hey,
So, okay. This is week 2 for me. I completed everything OP1 formed. I have my business structure, all of that. So now I'm at the point where I'm ready to purchase my bond. I received 2 quotes. I've already secured the process agent. So I have 2 quotes, one from Surety Bond Direct, one from JW Surety Bond. And basically, I don't know, what am I looking for? There's no comparisons as far as services or coverages.
Well, did you ask for those comparisons and services? And what are the rates for the quotes? What did JW Surety give you for a rate, and what did the other one give you? Surety Direct give you for a rate?
Surety Bond Direct gave me $938, and JW Surety Bond gave me $950.
Okay, so those are both decent. Anything 1,000 and under is pretty good. Okay. And that's a one-time annual payment for a $75,000 bond. So your credit must be good. Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. Oops.
I'm straight.
Okay, so what do you particularly look for in a bond service? What are you looking for as far as the bond? So the bond it shows the brokers as having financial responsibility to cover any mishaps by the broker, unethical, illegal, what have you. Because if a shipper or a carrier files a claim against your bond, that is the whole purpose of it, to recoup any losses, right?
Right.
That's why it's a requirement by the FMCSA before you get your broker license. So
my question is, which one do I choose? I don't want to choose the one that's least expensive. I guess I could ask them for more information, but only thing they sent me was the quote. There's no coverage details. Or does that matter? I don't know if I'm looking too deep into this.
Well, no, it's your money. So what have you been to their website to see what their services are and what the bond entails? So
yeah, the website doesn't really provide many details. It just says like, why buy from Surety Bond Direct, money back guarantee. They complete the bond form, rated insurance company. And it just gives me the cost and amount of the coverage of $75,000.
That's pretty much what all of them do. All bond companies complete the bond form. All that is the BMC 84, the BMC 85, which is the surety bond and the trust fund. So anything else? Donna, what did you get out of your bond company? I think you went with, I'm not sure who you went with. What type of services did you discover from your bond company? Or was it just a general, just got the bond, a decent rate, and I was done with it? What did you get from yours, Donald?
Option B, I just got the bond and I was done with it.
Okay. Right, so there was nothing more to read into it, just a good, decent rate to have $75,000 coverage, correct?
Right, and it came along with, it's A1 Surety. It came along with a lot of recommendations just from what I read online. So I felt that was the best option.
A1 Surety, okay. Yep. What was your rate? What was your annual rate?
I think it might've been $1,200.
Okay. Yes. Oh, so Big Belly, you're doing better than Donald.
It's real good.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds good. I did have another question for Mr. Donald. So, this is a little bit of investment, just startup costs for our business. And since you've been up and going for a little while, do you feel as though you've recouped your costs? And do you, not to be all up in your business, but as far as profit, are you taking profit, and is it sufficient to support yourself?
I haven't made it to the point yet because I started, I'm moving things along now, but I haven't broke out of that. I haven't broke out of that area that I want to be in to say that I'm in a profit point. So no, I haven't actually made any profit at this point.
Okay, and you've been in 2 months.
I've been actively brokering for about 2 months.
Okay.
And I'm still learning. So I had a lot of my fears I had to overcome
Okay.
There was a lot of pushing through. So I felt like these, walls that I put up around myself, and ultimately I started moving forward. And I had opportunity to make money early on, but I didn't jump. I didn't take the leap. I was always still trying to overthink everything.
Right.
And once I got to the point where I said, okay, I'm not going to overthink it. I have a committed carrier, and I have the shipment is available. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I've gotten to that point several times, and I just waited and waited and waited, and then it was covered. So I realized that if it's a good load and I'm getting a lot of phone calls on it, I get a conversation, I can always explain to the carrier what my position is, let them know that I do intend on paying them, but I may not with this particular shipper. The other shippers, yes, I can factor. This particular shipper that's been keeping me the busiest, I may not be able to factor it. But, if you want to give me a try, let me, see what I can do. On the first shipment, I didn't even think about that option. I kind of discounted myself before I even got to that. And I actually found myself debating with the carrier if whether or not they should take my load, because I was concerned about my factoring ability. And they said, we don't care about factoring. We just want the load. They were a carrier. They have a fleet. And so we're good with net 30 or even net 45. We're fine with that. And then that was kind of the conversation that got me past that point of hesitation. And now it's, I'm a little bit more aggressive at how I go forward with trying to secure loads and so forth. The only challenge that I think many of us are going to see is it's just a matter of the shippers we have, and is it a good enough freight spin that they're working with where you can actually make money on the load. The numbers have been up and down this week. So early this week, it was good. Moved loads early this week, but now it's starting to tighten up again. And it's whatever the market calls for. And I think that's what's going to impact us early on the most, until we start getting the ratings and we're going to stand out more than some of the others on the load boards, if that all makes sense to you.
Yes, it does. That was, that put things in perspective for me too, as far as expectations on.
You just said, I want to piggyback a little bit off Mr. Don. You just said something about, you just made a good statement, ratings, right? So brokers have credit scores and credit ratings, right? A rating, B rating, N is in Nancy rating, which means your brokerage is a year or less as far as having your authority, your license. An I rating, like your data is incomplete when someone looks you up. Different ratings. And then the credit scores, of course, 92 to 100 is good score. Basically your risk tolerance in the eyes of a shipper and or carrier when they look you up to see if they want to work with you. So, and this is built over time, and Mr. Donald he's going through the process right now. So that's why I call him a lot, because he can give you guys who are heading in that direction real world insight, right? And so can Mr. Nelson. I think Mr. Nelson just came on, by the way. And so can Mr. Irwin, my mentor. If I give him a call again, he probably can come on and do the same thing. He'll probably be talking for 3 hours, and I'm not trying to have him talk for that long. But yeah, so, but it's just, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, right? You're just putting the pieces together, So, and Mr. Donald is doing it the right way. So, Brooke Hall, you have your hand raised.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. All right, this is my second week on this Zoom call. So I think I missed the last call. So I'm gonna ask maybe 3 questions.
Okay. Only 3. Okay.
I'm sure it's gonna be more than that. So or I can refer this to Mr. Donald too, and you. Which of the software tools do you use to actually for your freight brokerage, as in to post your loads and stuff like that?
Okay, so generally, well, I'll let Donald give it to you since he's doing it live. I was gonna ask you, were you referring to like a TMS system? Were you referring to like a load board? But you just said postal loads, so you're referring to a load board.
Yeah.
Okay. So the top
or which
three
one
load,
he would refer, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm using on paid subscriptions right now. I have Truck Stop, DAT,
Okay.
and Load Board 123. Truck Stop is good for certain types of loads. I think the biggest challenge that my brokerage faces over there is just the rating. DAT, I tend to have more success with loads when it comes to full truckload, van, dry van type loads. You know, so I think it's a good starting point for brokerage. I would select between one of the two majors and work off of those.
Okay.
Right. And there's a ton of load boards out there. You just, you know, I would look for whatever I can post on that's within budget and give it a try. Try for a couple months, see how it works out. I'm kind of married to Truck Stop right now because I took a package from them that covers my insurance, my errors and omissions, and my contingent cargo. And I also have, which I've been waiting for very patiently, the Rmis onboarding platform, so that I don't have to spend so much time collecting paperwork from carriers. So that runs roughly around $300 a month, and then you have that power, which is $100 and something a month. I mean, but it's an expense you should expect to take on with your brokerage, and as long as you try to do everything the right way, you should start seeing profit within some period of time. But I would expect to go for a few months at a loss while you're building yourself up and getting used to it.
Okay, so, understandable.
Let's do this then. Since you started that point, let's go into detail. I'm gonna dive a little bit further into that on that load board aspect and RMIS and things like that, right? So with a load board, you want to ask yourself, okay, the top 3 load boards out here are 123 Internet, well, Truck Stop. It used to be called Internet Truck Stop, and any flavor of that. So the load boards have different versions and features of them, right? So we are speaking of from a broker's perspective, not a carrier's perspective, because load boards are catered to carriers, to the carrier side and to the broker side. So what does that mean, right? Well, brokers have more capabilities and features with the load boards, as they should because they need it, than carriers do. Carriers only need load boards to post their trucks as being empty and available, and to search for loads to put on their trucks. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Brokers need load boards to search trucks, post trucks if they are asset-based brokers, search loads and post loads. So there's a plethora of capabilities that brokers would need. Now, load boards, and let's stick to the top 3, offers these features. In addition to that, load boards offer real-time analytics. They offer rate mates or rate comparisons in real time. So the more features and capabilities that you add to your load board subscription, that determines the rate that you're going to pay monthly. Okay, and that's across the 3 load boards: 123, Truck Stop, and that. So with 123, there is the regular one, and then there is the premium one. The premium one is the one that caters more to brokers' capabilities. Okay, if you're going to consider 123 load board, I'm just going to stick to the top 3. Truck Stop or Internet Truck Stop, you have the regular one, you have Truck Stop Pro, right, which offers rate mate and all these other extra analytics for the broker in real time, but you're paying for that ability to have it in real time. The only thing that's different in real time and not in real time is that when a load is posted by, when it's on a load board, it dings either your cell phone or your email, and you'll see it, and it pops up in real time on the board. All the other loads maybe have a little delay, or they may be stale in a sense. Like you may see the age of it like a few hours or 10 hours or more, things like that. But a load board that's in real time, it pops in instantly and you can call immediately. And, you know, not mind you, other people are calling too, because other people have a real-time feature of the same load board perhaps that you have. So you're kind of like competing for that, right? So, and then DAT. DAT is an acronym. That's another load board, one of the top 3. DAT stands for Dial a Truck. So DAT, you have DAT Express, DAT Pro, DAT Trucker's Edge, and DAT Power. DAT Express and DAT Power are more lean toward the broker side. DAT Pro a little bit too, but then DAT Trucker's Edge is more of the carrier side. So those are the low, and then Donald mentioned something about RMIS, right? RMIS is Registered Monitoring Insurance Service. What it is it's a property management and transportation onboarding system, automated, right? Digital. So then there's another one for the brokers too. It's called, well, there's plenty of them, but the 2 popular ones are RMIS, Registry Monitoring Insurance Service, and My Carrier Packet, okay? What these do is there are digital onboarding systems where the data is synced automatically. When all you have to do is send a carrier a link to your portal, they log in with their MC and DOT, and because the MC and DOT is a matter of public record and it's linked, that data is linked to the FMCSA, most of the data for that carrier is automatically transported EDI into the RMIS or My Carrier Packet system, onboarding system. And then the carrier just fill in the rest of it, fill in the blanks, and then hit submit, and it goes to your account, your brokerage, right? So that data is automatically ported, right? It makes it easier for you, and time is less time consuming from a broker to do it that way, as opposed to attaching a broker carrier agreement or onboarding packet to an email, sending it to them, hoping they fill it out in a timely manner, sending it back, blah, 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 right? This streamlines the process. And over time, as you develop your brokerage and you build, you will transition and move to that phase, okay? What else that Donald mentioned? So the load boards to TMS systems. And this is all just part of your brokerage processes and brokerage workflow. You build loads in TMS systems. You keep track of your carriers. You keep track of your customers. You keep document management, account management, all types of invoices, accounts payables, all that stuff. So you're streamlining everything that you do for your brokerage. It can be centralized into a system that automatically does it for you. Okay.
Thank you. I'm familiar with that because I'm a dispatcher, so I know the RMIS, how it works.
Okay. Okay. Well, now with the versions of the load boards, are you familiar with the different features and versions of the load boards?
Yes, I am. I wasn't familiar with load 1, 2, 3, but truck stop and DAT, I'm familiar with.
So here's 1, 2, 3 load board.
Okay.
And this is premium. This is the premium version. So some of the features in here, let me shrink this screen a little bit because it looks like it's gigantic. Okay, and minimize that. So this is the premium version of 1, 2, 3 load board right here. So it gives you can have the carrier lookup, you can look at it from a broker's standpoint. Now myself and this person here, he's the CEO and the VP of sales and the owner of the software. We had a meeting. I don't know if you guys saw us in a Zoom meeting talking about, he's adding, it's going to say carrier, it's going to say broker/shipper, and then it's going to say dispatcher. He's adding a feature to his load board for the very first time because of our conversation for dispatchers, because he realized we have a high volume of dispatchers who have carriers who can port over to his, so it's a win-win for us and him. So he's, and it's such a way that he's changing the format of his software. He's putting dispatchers in there as well. They will have a carrier level login like the regular carriers, right? But this is 1, 2, 3 load board. You can post your loads, you can post trucks, you can search for loads, things of that nature, just like any other load board. All load boards have the same common features. Everyone has the ability to search loads, post loads, depending on the version of the load board you have. Where the differences lie in is the difference between some real-time analytics or not, right? Or the number of features the load boards may provide over the others. So, but every load board has common features. Every load board, you're going to pick something up from somewhere. You're going to deliver something to somewhere. You're going to describe how you're going to deliver that, what equipment type, and things of that nature, right? So, but this is a consideration for you though, Brooke, if you are thinking about load boards.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let me move on to my next question. The factoring company. What kind of company would you refer for us like to work with, like a factoring company?
Well, we have a factoring company partner on our website, 7 Oaks. And then I think Donald uses Axle. But on our website, we have 7 Oaks, which is right here.
7 Oaks?
7 Oaks Factory, Monica Case. She comes on the dispatcher side all the time and talks about, as a matter of fact, I think she's at this weekend or next weekend, she's going to be at the trucking convention over in the Midwest, over in Indiana, or Kentucky, I believe. But this is her information. I'm gonna put it in the chat here for you to contact her.
Okay.
But 7 Oaks is a good factory company. So when you are looking for a factory company, you should have some baseline type of criteria that you're looking for in the factory. You know, so you can ask some of these brokers here, you know, if you have factory, what are some of the things that you considered before you decided to go with that factory company? And then are you satisfied with your decision, right? And then see what they say. Like, for example, Donald, what are some of the things that you considered with the factory when you were searching for a factory company prior to coming across Axle? And then when you found that factory company, are you satisfied with the services that they provide?
Okay, yeah. The first thing I was concerned with respect to the factoring company was the reputation of the factoring company. So I did a little bit of research online and I ended up with Axle. Now, 7 Oaks came very highly recommended, but I just didn't connect when I was trying to reach them because I felt like I was in a situation where I felt rushed. It was something that I internally did. So but I did research and I saw a lot of positive about Axle, so I decided to go that direction. One of the other things that I like with respect to my particular factoring company is, although it's a big company, they still take the time out to call. They're very responsive to any question I have. Basically, they're there. They will hold your hand literally through the process. So what I did was, like I said, just to recap back to it, it was more so me searching out and researching companies that had good reviews with respect to their service. Another thing that you'll have to understand too, as a new broker, a new brokerage, I should say, is that not all factoring companies are going to be willing to take you on board because they want you to have a period of time before they will even consider you as a viable candidate for factoring. So one of the other hurdles I ran through when I was going through my list of factoring companies was some of them, like OTR, for example, just will not take you on board. OTR is the factoring company, it's the in-house factoring company for DAT. So I thought that would be the natural place where I wanted to get factoring because I wanted to have the check mark next to my name when I post loads on it. And, so you're just basically gonna have to do your research and find out which one you think is the best fit for what you need.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right.
I think I have one last question. Obtaining shippers. I know that you have to go through a cold call procedure, but is there any simpler thing that I can do? I'm just asking.
Well, you're gonna have to cold call eventually. I mean, that's something that just can't be avoided. But there are other options. I mean, if you have shipping facilities in your area near you, like distributors, manufacturers,
right?
In your area, you can pretty much, visit those industrial parks near you and then either set up an appointment to talk to the person or just go up there. And then LinkedIn, connect via LinkedIn to shippers. Matter of fact, where are you located?
New York.
What borough?
Brooklyn, New York.
Uh-oh. BK, Bob, Brooklyn. Okay, so you would, I can remember my password. I got selective amnesia over here. Really? Okay. How do you spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? All right. Log in here, solve the puzzle to verify. Okay, I'm in a hotel. I gotta, oh my goodness, really? All right. So you would go on stuff like LinkedIn or whatever, and you could say shippers or logistics managers in transportation, or shippers and people, shippers and group. You could do a search for those shippers and receivers. On LinkedIn, you could do Chamber of Commerce. We have resources in our members portal for, now I hit the wrong one, I apologize. Tools and resources. Broker resources, it's Anchor Dow. Oh, by the way, RMIS is right here, Registry Monitoring Insurance Service, just as a link to the site. I don't know if you've navigated through everything in the back office area, but these are resources too to go after shippers. Webster's Online. We have a ton of them. McRae's, Blue Book, Thomas Net. But here's a good one. I just put this one on here, Industry Net. But what about industry supply chain conferences? That's correct. Trade conferences. That is correct, Kilbert. Yes. So the young lady said she was in New York. So we can look in the New York area, Greater New York Chamber of Commerce, or I don't know if they have what county, I guess. I'll just put Greater New York as an example, just to show how to navigate through this particular one. And then we'll go to the Chamber of New York City website. And then you go to their business directory or their member or the members directory, and you're searching for a particular category. Our category, we're in logistics, transportation, anything like that. So you would look for a shipper directory or members directory in that particular category. So we're in the directory. We just got to select our particular category, right? So, and you can say manufacturers. Let's do that, manufacturers, bam. And then we'll click on that. And it's thinking, and this is just one tool to navigate with, right? So we got one of 17, page one. So we have some manufacturers in the Greater New York area that you can reach out to, and it has their contact information, their name, phone number, email, website, and address. So potentially either call, and you can do an email. You can do email campaigns. If you're a person who doesn't like the cold call, you can get a list of emails and create one email script, if you will. I hate using that word, but script. And send it out, and keep it short. Introduce yourself, who you are, what service you provide, and how you can help the person, if they have a need, right? And send it out in an email, and you'll be surprised the response you may get. And you didn't even cold call a person, right? So some people may be so busy that they don't take the calls, but they'll sit at their desk coming back in from the warehouse, directing people out in the warehouse, and they'll check their emails or check their computer, and they may see something, and you may happen to catch them on a good day. So you never know, right?
That's true.
So email campaigns, text campaigns, they check their phones every now and then. Carriers, truck drivers check their phones more so than shippers. They're more email and answering phones kind of thing, but you can still try it. It's an option. And in the best way, obviously, cold calling and physically visiting them, reaching out to them on different social media outlets. You can go through Facebook and do search for certain groups, manufacturer groups, distributor groups, shipping groups, logistics, and do it that way as well. So there's several ways in addition to general cold calling. So if you have a fear, if you will, or you just don't like cold calling it's a tact, it's something you're going to have to do eventually, because as a broker, you have to talk to people. Carriers are going to call you, people are going to call you. So that's something you have to go through that process, So fail often, fail big, and get past it, and learn from the experience. So there's a saying, if you don't fail, you're not even trying, right? You're not even trying. So, but yeah, give that a shot and then go from there.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
All righty. Big Bag Bella.
Hi, Mr. Charles.
Say that fast 3 times.
Hey, I have a question about the load board that you all touched on earlier.
Okay.
So how often would you see the same load posted from different brokers? And if you see that, then how do you differentiate yourself? Do you go back in and reduce your rate?
Well, so if you're a broker and you're if you are a broker and you're put on a list, like if you got one shipper and you notice you're on an email list and you got all these other brokers on the same email list competing for this one load, and everybody's posting it on the load board. Now you're just competing, and whoever can get the lowest. It's like playing and what's that game that anyway, so you're just competing, whoever gets the lowest rate, but you don't want to give a lower rate so much so that you're going to bid yourself or not make a profit margin, and you're not going to be competitive. Well, you're going to be competitive with the market, because the carrier is going to win and you're going to lose your profit margin. So if you can, which is for new brokers, it's kind of rare sometimes to get exclusive loads from shippers, right? You be the exclusive broker for that shipper. That way you don't have that issue now. You don't have to worry about competing with other brokers. So when you post a load on the load board, it's not posted by other brokers. That's just your load. You own it, right? So, but if you starting off with a new broker and you get a shipper say, send us your information, we're going to add you to our email list. So now once you hear that, you are competing with other brokers.
I'll tell you how to deal with that, Charles, get around it.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hey, Danita, what's up, Danita? What's up, girl?
A lot of times you will find situations where brokers have the same loads. You want to drive that traffic to yourself. If you've got that same load, when you post it, don't put a price on it.
Right.
Okay.
So now it's a mystery. So they're curious about it. Now they see all the other stuff and they're curious about it, and they're gonna that alone sparks that curiosity in them to call you.
They know it's going the same direction. They know it's probably coming out of the same city. But if you don't post a price on it, they don't know what the price is. So therefore, it's going to drive traffic to you.
I like that idea. Thank you, Mr. Nelson.
Yeah, I'm glad I thought about it. No, but that's a great idea. Not posting the rates. So, and that seems to be, especially if you are on an email list with other brokers, they're posting their numbers, you're not. So now carriers are wondering, like, well, I see they got 13 here, 12 here, 1175 here, nothing here. So I'm curious to know what this person who didn't post a rate, what his numbers are. So that curiosity alone, like Mr. Nelson says, will drive them to call you at least to get that information, right? So, all right, Gilbert.
Hey, I got 2 things real quick. We're talking about load boards, and what I do full time, like I'm a data analyst, and so when I think about this load board conversation, I'm looking for something, and if I'm overthinking this, please let me know. But I'm looking for something that's going to give me the most data so I can dig down into it to strategize. And I'm looking at like the e-carrier check software. And is that something that will give me, and like one of your shipper came on Tuesday, he was talking about, getting quotes for 2 years back or just some type of data. Is this a good software for me to like invest in, or am I just really just overthinking what I need to start off?
Well, Mr. Donald could answer that question and lead into your question too, Mr. Donald, because I see you got your hand raised, but Mr. Donald uses eCarrier Check as a resource. So
yes, I do. Yeah, eCarrier Check it's a good program. It helps you. The number one use I have for eCarrier Check is I use it a lot to confirm these trucking companies, and I'll also cross-reference their the information they have, what they actually haul, and you get a lot of information when you go into it. Just recently, I started finding some value to it. When you get people calling you, you can actually, if you missed the call, you can actually go back into eCarrier Check, and you can actually pull up because it shows you on a call log when you use the auto assistant.
Yep.
It'll show you all the people that have called you. If they have a registered business, you can actually see what the company is, and you can follow up and pinpoint those businesses. I used that the other day. It's a great platform to have. It really is. You can find shippers on it. It's not as detailed as you would want it to be for shippers, but it'll give you an idea of the shipper, what they, if they are working with owner operators. You can pretty much get an idea that if you might have a higher probability of winning a contract as a broker with them based off of that. And I did get a follow-up. I used it just sourcing out different carriers. And I actually had a follow-up with the company, but the guy I was supposed to speak with was out this week, so it's been moved to next week. And I'll let you know how that works out.
All right.
The other thing I wanted to say was with respect to the competing on the load board. One thing that I did try, and it worked to my advantage. If you see loads, you'll see loads that are kind of tough, but every now and then they'll throw a load out there on the list that you can put up on a load board, but you'll look at that load and you'll know right away that you know with 100% certainty that you can move that load. What you can do, if you want to be adventurous, and I've done it, it works. You just call the shipper and say, I want to cover that load. That takes it away from everybody else that's competing against you. You are the only person that has that load at that time. Now, it all falls on you to find a carrier to pull that load for us. But, you just need to make sure that you feel very confident that you can pull that load. You will get that load covered. And you just tell the shipper, hey, give me that load, I'll cover it. And that's it.
So they'll send you the tender. Now you own the load, right?
You own the load. Now you better make sure you cover that load.
So now the question with that is, make sure you cover the load. What's the ETA of that? How long do you have to prove that you can cover that load before the shipper starts saying, hey, what's going on? You haven't covered the load.
Well, when you make a move like that, you better make sure that it's an item that is going to move. Like for me, I had an item come up earlier this week, and it was calling for a hot shot. Hot shot, there's a lot of hot shot drivers out there right now that are hungry for loads. Right. So I just called them right away. I said, hey, give me that load, I'll cover it. Posted it up, took it from everybody else, and my phone would not stop ringing. Right. And of course, it was covered.
I'm glad you said that, because in my dispatch training, I tell the students there that I tell them to focus on getting carriers to dispatch for the 3 major equipment types, right? Drive-in, flatbeds, and reefers. And then I tell them to not to disregard the other specialty equipment types like box trucks, hot shots, sprinter vans, and cargo vans. But here's the paradigm in that. I tell them that, what situation would you rather be in? And I'm going to circle it back to how this relates to brokering. What situation would you rather be in? Would you rather have an equipment type carrier, drive-in, flatbed, or reefer that you're having a challenge in finding to dispatch for, but once you get them, you can get loads easily because they're always out there for those types of equipment types? Or would you rather get a carrier who's going to be willing to have you dispatch for them easier, but you're going to have a challenge finding loads for, which are the specialty equipment types, the box truck carriers begging for dispatchers, hot shots, sprinter vans, cargo vans, right? The reason being is because getting loads for them is more of a challenge. So what scenario, and this is from a dispatcher's perspective, what scenario would you rather be in? Now, from a broker's perspective, flip that over. Shippers, if you got shippers who have freight that goes on the specialized equipment types, snatch them up, snatch those loads, because just like with the dispatchers, you can get those carriers because they're looking for loads, right? So from a broker's standpoint, if you can get a shipper that requires, that has commodities that goes on those types of specialized equipment types, box trucks, sprinter vans, cargo vans, hot shots, grab them, because once you post it out there or you reach out to one of those carriers, like Mr. Donald said, phone rings off the hook, right? And it's easier negotiating for you than it would be for the dry van, flatbed, or reefer, because they can get loads from anybody. It's easier for them. So just look at it from that perspective as well.
Pay attention to the requirements for the haul. If they, like my one shipper, they'll throw a little, they'll throw a bone out there. You know, everything is calling for a 48, 53-foot flatbed in my case. And then I saw a 10,000 pound weight, 40-foot. It was listed the same way, but there was a difference with respect to the size of the load. So if you see that unicorn come through, don't stop yourself from calling the shipper or sending an email and say, hey, can I put this on a hot shot? So what kind of response they give you, because they may not even be looking at they're just pushing out freight as the orders come in. They might say, yeah, you can squeeze that. It's 40 foot, because a 40 foot, that's you can get a 40-foot flatbed on a hot shot, and if it's 10,000, 12,000 pounds,
easy.
You might have a win right there. Just throw it up as go in a different direction with it. You might find a lot of success. And one of the things
you might make money with it, because the shipper's still going to pay what the shipper's going to still pay what they pay, but you give the hotshot carrier their competitive market rate, and your profit margin increases.
And that's what you do. And you can easily walk away with a few $100 as opposed to say $100 if you were going for what the normal what you're used to trying to pull in on the load boards.
Right. So Mr. Kilbert, got your hand raised.
Yeah, last question. You said before, and I might have watched this in a video, about contacting shippers, not contacting shippers before your authority is active. Atlanta MODEX has a conference in Atlanta next week that I just looked up a few days ago, and I wasn't just going to go down there and just sit in the room and try to conversate with people. Do you think that's a good idea?
That's a great idea. A great idea. Yes.
Even though I'm pending still with my
Even
authority?
though you're pending, get the experience. Get the experience. Yep. Because you're not going down there trying to get their loads. You just want to get a feel for what the environment and how things operate and work. And who knows? You may get somebody that say, okay, you about to get when your broker become active, give me a shout. But that's a great idea. Start the process of getting into environments that you're going to eventually try to make connections with anyway. Start networking, conferences, things like that. Yes, that is a great idea. Good luck to you.
Do you already have business cards printed out?
I don't. I'm working on my logo now, but I was just going to print out like some basic business cards with my business name and contact information. But
yeah, I suggest you do that. You print out some basic business cards with your contact information and get an email address on it. Promote yourself as a broker, even if you're not active yet, because you may pass that business card out and he may stick it in his wallet and he may come back and pull it out 3 months later.
And you're active by the end.
So still promote yourself as a broker.
Gotcha. Thank you for that info.
All right. Martin Akar. I barely hear you, Martin. Martin, you stay in that truck, don't you? I hear that echo and everything. I can barely hear you, man. Oh, Mr.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah. You stay in that truck, don't you?
Yeah. I'm just getting into Sanford. I had you on the speaker. But my question is, what is the name of the conference the gentleman was talking about that's coming up in Atlanta?
He just put the link.
Yeah, I want to send address to that conference.
He just put the link in the chat.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, modexshow.com. So let me
modexshow.com.
There it is right there. Modex. I just put it on the put it on the screen right here. Industry. Yep.
MORE. Yeah, Modex. Okay.
Supply chain solutions, equipment and tech. This is pretty good. When is this? Oh, this is next week. I may have to make a trip down there.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's what I wanted to find out, you know.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Monday through Thursday. Wow. Okay, Shaq. If Shaq gonna be there, I'm gonna show up. I got a bone to pick with him about these free throws. All right. Who else? Anything else? What's going on, guys? Shoot them at me. Shoot them at me. I just came in from Virginia. I'm in Ohio right now. I'm in Beaver Creek, Ohio, which is a suburb of Dayton. I'll be here till Monday, doing a little meet and greet, of course, visiting family. So I don't know if anybody is in here that's in that area, in the Ohio area, that could come over here. But this is where I'm at right now in this hotel room. So any other questions? And this is all good questions, good content, you know, putting everything together. Let me see if my friend is still here. Miss Danita, a truckerpreneur, how are you? Miss Danita, are you going to be in Atlanta next week for the Modex Supply Chain Conference?
No, I will not be.
Okay.
Are you going?
I'm thinking about it, but I might be burnt out because I'm leaving here to go back to Virginia. I'm in Ohio right now, so I may have to catch. I drove here, so I got to drive back and then catch a flight. Or I just might catch a flight from here down there and then come back here to get my car or whatever. I don't know.
What part of Ohio are you in?
I'm in the Dayton suburb area, Beaver Creek.
Oh, okay.
So
I lived in Cleveland for 20 years.
Oh my God, I'm sorry to hear that.
I know, right? I was stuck. But no, I don't think I am going to that next week.
Okay.
Next week's my birthday. I'm not working on my birthday.
Oh yeah. That's sacrilegious. What in the world?
Yeah, I know, right?
So, but are you okay? Everything's good on the broker side with you, or you just?
Yeah, I'm just listening and learning.
Okay, cool. I may not hold you guys too long, but I want to get a little rest. I've been driving for 11 hours. I feel like I was in the
How
truck.
You doing? I heard you had an accident. How you doing?
Yeah, man. Yes. I had a little fender bender, a little hit and run. So.
But Shaq gonna be there.
I was down.
And then the guy that was
down for a little minute. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm going to, speaking of which, I guess I can segue into that. Starting April 1st, I do dispatcher trainings 3 times a week and freight broker training 2 times a week. For 4 weeks in the month, I'm going to switch that up to 2 weeks in the month. So I'm going to cut my workload in half because the doctor said that my stress levels were up and of course my blood pressure was at stroke levels.
Oh, wow.
So my wife first, and then the doctor was like, yeah, you might want to cut your workload a little bit in half. You can still have the same level of trainings. It's just instead of every week, every other week. So starting April 1st, the 2nd and 4th week of each month, I will have still the 3 times a week trainings for the dispatcher and the 2 times a week trainings for the freight broker on the same days and times. It'll just be every 2nd and 4th week of each month. So, okay. And I'm gonna, all throughout the rest of the month of March, I'm gonna constantly pound that into everybody, put out YouTube videos. So it won't come as a surprise to people when they don't see me 4 weeks out of a month and they only see me twice as far as the live trainings. So, okay. But I got to get this blood pressure under control and the stress levels down. So that's actually important. So, yeah.
I'm going to get a massage sometime this weekend. That's the other thing that helps keeps my stress down is massages. So consider massages too.
Well, what keeps my stress down is people like Mr. Donald here, he's getting these shippers and he's moving freight. And then other people who are applying for their authorities and getting their authorities active, like LaDonna. LaDonna's on here, got her authority active. LaDonna, you're active, right, LaDonna?
I am active, yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
So now you are working on shippers.
Yes, sir.
I could actually give you guys leads. I don't know what I'm thinking. I have an accordion of hundreds of leads from when I was dispatching from a couple of years ago, but I'm sure those shipping facilities haven't went anywhere. The buildings haven't like uprooted and walked away. Maybe the contact person may have changed over those 2 years, but I need to get someone to pull all that data and put it into like a spreadsheet, and then I'll put it in the back office. Those are like, I guess at this point, they still could be called cold leads, maybe warm. So, but to call on, right? These are every shipping and every receiving facility are potential customers. So for you and for new brokers to call. And I'm starting to I'm literally going to start bringing on shippers. Like I'll call them myself, talk to them, but I won't talk to them as trying to get them to give me their freight. I'll talk to them to say, hey, can you come on to like I did before, can you come on to the training and kind of give brokers your perspective of what a shipper is expecting to hear from a broker? And if you were considering entertaining a freight broker, what would you look for in them? So that data will help you as new brokers. When you talk to other shippers, you'll have an idea what to expect or what to say, right? Because you would have heard it from a shipper, right? Just like Mr. Irwin, just like other shippers that we brought on, Jason, and I'm bringing on Ariel from Cleveland. Matter of fact, I'm in Ohio. I need to drive up to Cleveland and she's there. I can visit her. So Big Bag Bella.
Hi, me again. So I'm looking at registering for the Modex, and there's a couple of questions here. I don't really know what category I fall in. So it says, is your company principally a distributor, reseller of material handling and logistics equipment systems, a manufacturer of material handling, or user of material handling logistics? So would it be user or other?
I would put other.
Other. And then it's asking to specify. Would I say freight broker?
Freight broker.
Okay. That is all. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Donald.
I just wanted to jump in with respect to the methods of finding shippers. I had a conversation with a truck today. They didn't take my load, but I ended up speaking to the driver, and she told me that she goes to a lot of different facilities. She said she was going to start texting me the facility she lands at, and she'll see if she can find out who is the person inside that I need to talk to. So I say that to say that as you speak to carriers, ask them. I think that you might get success there. I'll let you know how it works out. She did text me the information of the shipper that she was at today, and she said she's going to be on the road for the next 3 weeks. So she said, I'll just keep popping it to you as I hit the dock. I say, I appreciate that.
That is you just hit a lick. That is a excellent way to get shippers, because the driver, what better person to tell you who is at the facility than the person who's delivering the freight to the facility, the carriers, right? And every rate confirmation, just like LaDonna and her husband, right? Every rate confirmation has a consignor and a consignee, or a shipper and a receiver. And each person can have the ability to give you freight, right? And if the person who's the point of contact on that rate confirmation is the potential logistics person, the person in charge of moving that freight, right? The shipper. First and last name, cell number, email, things of that nature. So if you got drivers already under your brokerage, ask them for that information. It's not going to hurt them in any way, right? In any way, shape, or form. Now, some drivers may try to be a little sleazy and try to sell you the information, but I'm like, come on, really? So, but yeah, that's a very good way. That's another way to get shippers. So cold calling, visiting the facilities, pulling the data from the rate confirmations of the drivers that you have relationships with, because now those are active, those are hot leads, literally hot leads. because they just physically deliver to that place. They may be sitting there waiting to get unloaded, but they have a rate con right there. So if you call and talk to them, like, okay, well, who's the person in charge of making sure that your truck is getting loaded and offloaded, or who's the person in charge of indemnifying this freight once they sign it and remove you from responsibility, right? So, yeah, there's so many ways, right? You just got to be, so there's creativity, right? Creativity. So sometimes the standard ways doesn't work, right, for people, or sometimes people are not comfortable using the standard ways. So become uncomfortable, right? Use the unconventional ways, like what Mr. Donald just said, right? You know, get extracted from the drivers. So, yeah, but first things first, you have to get your broker license, right? You got to get it active. Got to build your credit up, build yourself up as a good broker, move that first load. Mr. Donald, was you shaking on your first load? Was you nervous? How did you feel?
I think I annoyed the carrier because I called them so many times. Yeah, I was nervous.
But once you got past that point, because the first one is the toughest one, correct? After that, it's pretty much like riding a bike.
Yeah, once you get the first one under your belt, you have an idea of what comes next, and you know how to move forward from there. Just like anything you do, it's just it's part of the learning curve. You just have that fear. You just have to overcome the fear.
When you invoice, Mr. Donald, when you invoice your shipper for payment, assuming you don't have a factoring company, what are all the documents that you would send to them?
To the shipper?
Yes.
I send out that they need the signed proof of delivery. I also send, and I send it through my factoring company, but I want to make sure that they do not try to change rates up on me. So I have the email. So I always demand an email confirming the amount of the load as well as the invoice tender that they provide for the load. So all that has to go back to them. You want to basically prove the amount that we discussed. You want to prove that the load was delivered. And, you know, if there's any other things that might have come along with the rate, you want to include that as well. You do not give the shipper anything indicating how much you paid the carrier.
And vice versa. You do not tell the carrier how much the shipper is paying you. I just saw something in the chat that just blew my wig back. Above ground transportation. You think you're going to get away with posting that you moved 7 loads this week without me actually asking you about that? Please unmute yourself. Above ground transportation. Are you saying you moved 7 loads this week as a carrier or as a freight broker?
As a freight broker.
Oh my God. Class is over. Let me put this thing down. I'm done. As a freight broker.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. First, I actually was scheduling last Friday with the carrier. So Monday was the first 2 I moved. Wednesday, I moved 3, and today I moved 2, and I'm scheduling another 3 for next week.
What is going on? So we got Donald, we got a bug.
And you know what? Some of it is from Donald because I talked to him the other day. And
oh my God, y'all going behind my back. Oh my God, this is getting sneaky now. It's getting sneaky. What in the world? So okay, so let me start over with you. Okay, you're a freight broker. How long have you had your broker license?
Since June 2021.
Okay, so not even a year, right?
No.
And what type of commodity do your shipper or did the shipper give you?
It's mulch.
Huh?
It's mulch. It's with Irwin.
Oh, it's Mr. Irwin.
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm about to call Mr. Irwin. This is crazy. I feel like I'm being slighted right now.
What?
No, I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. Okay, so is he the only shipper that you're moving freight for?
Currently, yes.
Okay, but you moved 7 loads.
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
And so now you got the experience. So how did you feel when you moved the first one?
Well, I was pretty nervous. I was nervous over the entire weekend because I was just hoping the driver would show up and, show up on time. have all the necessary documents he needed. So that was a little nerve-wracking over the weekend, but it went through.
Was this going to a Home Depot, Lowe's, or Walmart?
Yes, it was going to Home Depot.
Okay. I would ask you these questions, but this is high level. I don't want to, that's kind of advanced. What else I was going to ask you? Oh, so is Mr. Irwin the one who's managing the account for you? You working exclusively with him, or are you someone under him?
There's actually, I want to call them dispatchers, coordinators for the different facilities. So there's one young lady that I'm dealing with in the she's out in Pennsylvania, but she runs the New Jersey lane.
Okay.
Elmore, New Jersey. So I moved some stuff for her, and now moving some stuff for another young lady named Jenny. And she handles the Benola, Pennsylvania route.
Right. Okay. So above ground transportation shipper is one of the largest mulch companies or shippers, I would say in the Midwest, Southeast, that's that half of the country. Grant Mulch. Some of their clients are Walmart, DC's, Lowe's, Home Depot's, mulch, bagged mulch, right? And I want to say it's it's not floor loaded. I think they're on pallets because Mr. Nelson, I think, has them as a shipper as well. So Mr. Irwin has like thousands of loads, right? So he's just throwing them out there.
Yes, so, and I spoke to him this morning and this afternoon. He wants me now to focus on the Pittsville, Pennsylvania area, which is where they really need the help.
Right. So he has a capacity need over there. So he's trying to give you, he's giving you some game right there then. So he's trying to, at the same time, trying to solve a problem on his side too. So he's giving you, if you can meet the capacity over there, it's a win-win for both of you guys. Right. So
exactly.
So is it mainly on 48 or 53 foot flatbeds or?
40. Well, my first driver had his own flatbed. My second driver has a power only.
So he's picking up Grant's trailers?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, so you're learning the game then. Look at you all quiet in the background, incognito and everything. What in the world?
I'm a very quiet person.
What in the world? Killing it over here. You and Mr. Donald, Freight Broker 101 about to get crazy out here. What in the world? Okay, very, very good. Very good. I'm proud. Very good. I'm happy. This is just confirmation that, what I've been sharing is helping. Of course, Mr. Irwin is my mentor, so he's taught me a lot. Mr. Nelson is my mentor also. He's taught me a lot on the trucking side, the carrier side. I call Mr. Nelson. I'd be bugging him. We called him the other day about a question with a carrier situation where a broker didn't want to pay a carrier and the dispatcher for whatever reason. I forgot the conversation we had, Mr. Nelson, but they end up giving them $1,000 a day for the layover. So
this situation come out, Charles?
$1,000 a day for layover. She called me and thanked, she cashed at me $200. So I'm supposed to give you $100.
No, you don't do that.
That's why I said, why would you? I said, I'll tell you what, give it to somebody who needs it. She said, well, I'll cash app it to you and you give it to somebody who needs it. So I got to find somebody who needs $200.
Nah.
So
I'm just glad she was able to come to some kind of conclusion with it, because she was going to lose money by having to sit on that load.
Right.
So she basically lost $1,000, but it still wasn't, she still didn't lose $3,000,
Right. Cause right. So yeah, that situation. So that's cool. But it was a learning experience. So that's good. So very good above ground transportation. I'm gonna have to reach out to you. You all in the background, like what? Okay, LaDonna got your hand raised.
Yes, hello, hey everyone again. Yes, that's what we do, Camille. Don't we? We just sneak up there and get it done and just pow. It's like, hold on, wait, what happened? But congratulations, Camille. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of everyone here that are conquering I have a question for you and then one for Donald as well. Camille, did you, Charles had asked it, were you nervous? That was number one. And then number two, did you have your motor carrier get one of those tracker apps on their phone?
So yes, I was very nervous the whole entire weekend because it started Friday, so I was a little nervous because he wasn't going to move the load until Monday. But he was really good. I must say the two carriers that I'm working with are excellent. Now, as far as tracking them, I haven't done that. I have not put them on a tracker.
Okay, so like tracker, like LaDonna, you talk about like macro point or something like that, GPS tracking?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they like to know where where that product is at all times.
Well, if the shipper did they require that, Camille, or no?
No, because like I said, the first carrier, he has his own flatbed. The second one, he's picking up, Irwin's
trailers.
So I didn't feel the need to. And we've built up a really good relationship, in the last couple of days.
So now with the workflow, what you're doing, when your driver delivers, how are you dealing with a factory company, or are you invoicing Grant Mulch? You're sending them POD and all the invoice and all that. What paperwork do you send in to get paid?
I am doing it through Axel.
Okay.
And like I said, the carriers are so great that once they load and drop, they send me a photocopy of the signed document.
The signed BOL, which is also the POD, which is the invoice they use to get paid.
Yep. As soon as he drops off, he sends me a copy of it.
Very good.
He's making my work a little easier, to be honest.
So isn't it wonderful to be a part of a network that shares experiences in such a way that people who are coming up can get to see and understand the process? So it's helpful, right? Isn't it also great and wonderful to be a part of a network who have individuals who are willing to do that, right? Like a family, right? It just help one another.
Absolutely.
Isn't it also wonderful that there are no selfish type of behaviors? And I'm not saying it like in a negative thing, like there's others out here. I can care less about the other trainers. I'm not even nowhere near thinking about that. I'm just saying that we want to make sure that we're in here for a reason. Right? We want to be brokers. Everybody has a heart to help one another. So someone who's further along in that process, in that journey, is willing to come back and step back and pull someone up by showing them, here's what I went through, here's my experience. Maybe you should do it this way, right? That's all I'm saying. So
it is. I learned a lot just, sitting back and listening to everyone's experience. And everyone's always so helpful, putting in their numbers to call and talk to them. And, that's a big plus for me. And of course I can do the same. If whatever knowledge I know and have learned, I'm definitely willing to share with everyone. So
the only thing I ask in order to help promote this group channel is video testimonials, so I can add to the YouTube channel and the back office. So and it's not mandatory. This is strictly voluntary, like yourself, Camille, because I wasn't even aware you moved 7 loads, first of all. But if you are willing to do that, of your experience, hey, this is what I've experienced coming through Freight Broker 101, just to help promote the platform and the YouTube channel, to bring up exposure of what we're doing, because this is not only a training, but this is a movement, in my opinion. Right? This is a movement towards, and whether you guys realize this or not, I'm looking at it from a deeper, more philosophical perspective. This is a movement in the sense that we're moving not only towards independence, but financial literacy, right? Because we're providing a way to make ourselves self-sufficient by starting our own businesses, right? So financial literacy, independence, and then we're providing for our families, and then we're helping others. So there's so many angles of blessings coming in that, just thinking of that alone, right? So I call it, it's more of a movement. It's just not a training platform that we just meet every Friday or Tuesday and just talk about brokering, right? So, but I like the community. I like the community feel, but if you are willing to do that, and if that's for anyone, I know Donald's been featured by my copy person, Mr. Sadan, who's coming next week, April 4th through 6th to Virginia. We're going to do a commercial and some promoting some video stuff. And Mr. Donald has been featured. Mr. Donald, did you get that email from Sadan?
Did he send one recently? I mean, this is going back a few weeks. I didn't notice anything lately.
Yeah, it was an email he sent me, and it had your story in there. Here's Mr. Donald, and this is what he does, and this is where he came from, and this is where he at. This is where he's at. To kind of promote. Matter of fact, let me open that up real quick before we get off of here. It was a great email to promote your journey of where you were, and then coming into the freight brokering experience, and as a way to I guess leverage bringing more potential people to the platform, right? So
Charles, while you're doing that, since Donald is still here, my question to him, remember Mr. Irwin was here, Donald, did you take him up on that idea as far as the rate confirmation, like barely giving, you remember that gem that he dropped? Barely giving a lot of information in?
Yeah, I'm actually going to. I haven't changed up just yet, but I did take it to heart, and I'm actually looking into different ways of doing business based on the conversation I had with him.
Okay, thanks.
With your permission, Mr. Donald, this is what Sadan sent me, promoting you through and to help, because we're thinking of promotional ideas for Freight Broker 101 as well as Dispatcher 101, right? So you didn't get this a success story email?
You know, he may have sent it to me. I have to check my other emails, and I'll do that. I can actually do that right now, because I think that went to my personal email, but I've been so stuck on the business email that I haven't even checked my personal emails probably in the past 2 weeks.
So what this is it's targeting our current dispatcher students who want to become freight brokers, to kind of get them to come over to the freight broker side as well. So it's giving a story about you. Meet Mr. Donald, Darren Donald, owner of One Plus Logistics. Mr. Donald is a freight broker and former student. He's also a father, husband, great son, and a true man of honor. His authority went live in mid, and do you mind me reading this, by the way? Mr. Donald?
Not at all, not at all.
Okay. His authority went live in mid-January, and by mid-February, he had shippers ringing his phone. And a few short weeks later, he has shippers and carriers ringing his phone looking to do business. This is setting up to be a huge year for Mr. Donald. When I asked him what would he attribute his good start to, he said, I came to win. I'm sure you remember telling Sadan that, right? But when he added that his Freight Broker 101 family, remember that word, family, have been extremely supportive and helpful with their time, talent, and experience. And then plus he said, this is a direct quote, Charles changed my life. And I appreciate that, thank you. Hopefully for the better. He said, maybe you're wondering how Mr. Donald found out about Freight Broker 101. Remember, this is targeting the dispatcher students in our ongoing training who wants to transition into brokering, okay? His wife is a dispatcher and a former student. She wanted her husband to be able to spend more time at home with her, his children, and his mother, but still make a good living, so they chose Freight Broker 101. Mr. Donald is a man on a mission. ELLC, that's us, Exodus Logistics Learning Center. That's what ELLC stands for. And the Freight Broker 101 family, there's that word again, is 100% committed to helping Mr. Donald do big things in 2022. You can join Mr. Donald and the Freight Broker family for only $3.99. Now he's promoting, because our price is $7.99. So basically they're coming in at 50% because they're ongoing students on the dispatcher side. So that's the special, okay? And you can use the credit that I, Charles, set aside for them, right? So I'm promoting that, giving them a 50% off. If you are a dispatcher ongoing student, you can come over to the Freight Broker side for 50% off. And I'm deciding to do that I think that's ongoing. And again, he's got drivers and shippers calling his phone. Is that not true, Mr. Donald?
Opportunity to come my way again this week from a shipper.
He said, why? Because the freight has to move. So why not open up an additional stream of income without leaving your house? And then interested in learning Freight Broker Story, use the code. And here's the code to get the half off. $3.99 off. FB is Freight Broker voucher. So he sent that to me. I read it. I was like, wow, if I was a dispatch student, I'd take advantage of this myself, right? So, but that was it. I just wanted to share that. I didn't know if you were aware that he sent that.
No, I wasn't. That's very humbling. And wow. Wow.
Yeah. So I was thinking about, because I don't know where you stay at, Mr. Donald, what state you're in.
I'm up here in the Poconos, Eastern Pennsylvania.
Okay. Because I was thinking about me and Mr. Sadan and the film crew probably setting up a schedule of time to fly out there and actually talk to you in person, you, and then probably Camille, all of the success stories to, to promote it even more. What you're doing and things like that. That could come later on in the year, sometimes next year. Once I get this commercial property procured, fly you guys in to Virginia Beach, put you up in a nice hotel. You can look at the Atlantic Ocean all night or whatever, and then come over to the office and we can sit down and have a chat. So, and your family is more than welcome to come. So, and it'll be on my dime because it's just a business expense for me. I can write it off. It's not a problem.
We would appreciate that. Thank you, Joe.
Yep. So, and that's for you too, Camille. And any other broker who's moving their first load, we're gonna, once I get this, procure this 2,800 square foot office space and build it up as an office space, I will start having those types of events to come along as well. So, but yeah, that was great.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes,
and I also want to thank Mr. Nelson. He was, he's my mentor, throughout this whole process. I mean, from the very, very beginning.
Now, wait a minute. You cannot steal my mentor now. That's Mr. Nelson, that he belongs to me.
Well, I just want to give, shout outs to him because we've talked a lot and he definitely has been the driving force for me. So yes. I definitely want to give him his kudos. Thank you, Mr. Nelson.
Yes, Mr. Nelson is a very wonderful mentor and a friend, I consider. And Mr. Irwin as well. So Mr. Nelson, yeah, he actually was in Virginia, I can't remember, about 6 months ago. And Mr. Nelson, myself, and Mr. Irwin sat out in the food court at the Greenbrier Mall in Chesapeake and had about a 4-hour conversation. So we were just in there chopping it up.
I want to thank Mr. Nelson as well. He's been very helpful and he answers that call, and I truly appreciate him as well. So Mr. Nelson, thank you for all that you've done as well. Thank you.
Yes, well, Mr. Nelson Mr. Nelson is one of the best resources that I ever have. And Mr. Nelson and I come from another area that we both did not agree with, but we come up out of that environment and we are okay. So as far as another training and another trainer and stuff like that, but I've actually made contact with that other trainer and we've actually severed ties, if you will, or not severed ties, but we've reconciled. That's the word I'm looking for. And it wasn't nothing really bad. It was just, just a different philosophy at that point in time, but we're good now, me and that person. So, and Mr. Nelson knows who I'm talking about. So, but yeah, we're good. But Mr. Nelson, yes, you are a wonderful human being, and you're very good at what you do, and you know what you're talking about. So, and I echo the sentiments that the students are echoing towards you, very, very much so, times 10. So, you're very good person. I appreciate you. So, I can never stop saying that. And this is a recording. And I might put this one on YouTube so everybody can see it. Mr. Nelson is the best. Switchback, freight brokerage, switchback GY6, freight brokerage, Mr. Nelson. So, and then Camille, above ground transportation, freight brokerage. I'm going to promote everybody now, right now. Camille, above ground transportation, freight brokerage, moving loads through freight, you know, I don't want to say through Freight Broker 101, but with the help, I guess, with the very little, any pinky help of Freight Broker 101, right? She does most of the work. She did most of the work. One Plus Logistics with Mr. Darren Downham. With very little, any teeny bit of help with Freight Broker 101, he did all the work, right? Moving freight. Mr. Nelson, not even a student, a mentor, Switchback GY6, moving freight. And anyone else in here who I haven't mentioned, please mention yourself because I want to promote you because I want to make this one live to give you guys kudos and promote your broker. So not only are we training you, we want to promote you as well and put you out there, right? I have 22,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So people are going to contact you. So again, it's all about networking, you know, inter-networking with ourselves and then branching out, right? So it's a beautiful thing. You'd be surprised how many people will contact you through networking, right? Because people are curious, like, well, how did you do it, by the way? You know, oh, did you do this? And you start that conversation. You can bring them over to Freight Broker 101, or you can just tell them what they need to hear, right? And speaking of which, if a person comes through Freight Broker 101 that you refer, you get a referral. You get paid for that, right? So it doesn't stop. So referral program, Dispatcher 101 referral program, Freight Broker 101 referral program under the ELLC services website or link at the top, the header, right? So refer the person, you single member referral, you get $150 credit. The 2-for-1 referral, you get $200. You can refer 10 people, make $2,000. Sit at home referring people. Come over to Freight Broker 101. I got $2,000 this week. So, but all right, guys, I am going to go to sleep. I am dead tired. But any more final thoughts, questions? We're here to help, literally. We're here to help. My wife is texting me as I'm talking now. How's the class going? Are you getting any sleep? Are you getting any rest? I'm like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So
Charles, I just want to say it's good to see you, man. Glad you're doing all right.
Yes, yes. Thank God. Thank God. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm glad to be in the land of the living. So I appreciate I got tons of emails and calls. My wife was like, I don't want to ever hold your phone again. So, so, you know, but yes, I really appreciate that, Conti. Somebody said
glad you're back, man.
I appreciate that. Somebody said they spoke to you the other day. I can't remember who that person was. They said they spoke to you.
To who? To me?
Yeah. I think it was another freight broker student or a dispatcher student. They referenced you. They said they had a good conversation with you. I said, Conti's a good dude. Yeah.
It could have been Big D.
It might have been Mr. Donald. Yeah, it might have been Mr. Donald. And a person I need to get back on here, my sister or my aunt, I call her, or even an older mom, Sadani. Sadani is busy like out the yin yang. Oh, speaking of which, Chris Leitner, what's up? See if Chris can unmute himself. Chris, are you back in Vegas or are you in California?
Hey, what's going on, Charles? My fault. I couldn't find the headphone.
Are you in Vegas or California or Nevada? Or
I'm in Colorado, actually.
Colorado. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Colorado, December. Yeah, so being here grinding, trying to get it through the mud, man. It was a little tough for a second.
Okay, are you still working with Agility?
Yeah. So I actually had to take a step back from the brokering. I had to get my dispatch going again. When I moved here, before I moved, I was really going hard on the broker and I gave up the carriers and really wanted to focus on brokering. And when I moved, I didn't have no internet. It was rough for a second. And then finally got everything set up. And a lot of the shippers that, I had contacted were slow and were saying they weren't going to be ready, till a little later on in the year. So I had to hustle up, try to do I was doing DoorDash, everything. So I was like, let me get the dispatching going and try to just hire some people like Mr. Nelson recommended. I really, took note of that. as far as just getting the dispatching thing, hiring some people to get that going for you. And then that way I have something running in the background while I push for it again.
Very good. Very good.
Yep, that's
great idea.
It's great,
once
great.
Again, Mr. Nelson, once again.
Yeah. Well, thank all you guys for the knowledge and expertise. And, it definitely helps to know both sides of the business. And, I'm going to start popping in more to just stay learning. Can't never learn too much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, as well.
All right. Okay, guys. Any final thoughts, questions? You all good? Mr. Nelson, you unmuted. I don't know if you want to say anything, but everybody's good. Okay. Looking at other people. Mr. Grady, Mr. Brown, Bishop, Ricardo.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Mr. Nita, I gotta meet with you. We gotta have lunch. We missed that lunch appointment, but we'll get it together. We're like literally neighbors, right? Everybody, I'm just looking through the list, making sure everybody's good. I always like to make sure everybody's good before I get off. That's because, that's just something I do.
I just can't wait to ring up Mr. Nelson's phone. It's LaDonna. I can't wait to hit him up.
Oh yeah, once you start going after shippers
and bug him. Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Nelson will always. He's always available. He's a busy man now. He's running the brokerage, and he's getting customers, getting contracts, but he'll make time. So, yep. Okay, everybody.
I got a question. I was trying to access the recorded videos, and I was unable to do it when I when I went to the website. Probably doing something wrong on my end.
Okay, is this Bishop, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, sir.
So are you see what's on the screen now, the main menu on the freight broker side?
Yeah.
Are you able to access that?
No, when I pull it up, when I go to the training portal, it doesn't pull up this same site here.
So the training portal is under what's called Freight Broker Course Access right there. Okay. If you click that in the so let me go to the very top, Freight Broker 101.
Yeah.
So you see this here under the Freight Broker 101 header, all these sublinks. If you select Freight Broker 101 course, it's going to ask for a login, a code. And when you first purchased the training, there was a code in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, don't say that code because this is a recording, but you do that. That's all you need to get to once you get to the main menu, you have open access to everything in here. You don't have to have any logins for anything else. It's just that one code to get to everything. From here is under where it says more information, video library.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool.
Okay, and then once you hit that, you're in the video library section. Now it's grouped in the months of the year, right? And the reason why March starts first is because that was the month that I started the freight broker. I started the dispatching side back in November, and then I didn't start the freight broker side online with the Zoom trainings until March, a few months later. And then within each month, the current date and year is the first video. And you notice this little white arrow, if you click it, it'll go to the next date and the next training and the next training. And then you go back to the current one. So, and that's per each month. So for us, it's March, right? So March, our last video that was recorded was March 18th, right? I believe, no, it wasn't. It was March 22nd, which was what is today? Friday, last Tuesday.
Yeah.
So today will be the current one. Once I finish this recording and upload it here, the first one is going to be 325 and then whatever title we call it. And then you hit over. Okay. And then you just go down to the other months, so on and so forth, and do the same process. All right.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. And someone just asked a question in the chat. Ricardo, I'm training to be a freight broker, so I'm just listening for now. Okay. Ricardo, who are you training with? You training with us? If you could unmute yourself, Ricardo.
No, I'm not training with you guys.
But
okay.
I was invited by my cousin. You have a company named Chassis?
Okay.
Yeah, that's who I'm training with.
Okay.
So I'm just observing because I'm going to start like within a week. So I'm just getting some little stuff from you guys apart from what he's teaching me.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well,
so
hopefully you get what you need from your cousin, you say?
Yeah. He's the owner of the company.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's the owner. He has a freight brokerage.
He have a trucking company and a freight brokerage company.
Okay. So you're with Brook Hall. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. I'm with Brook Hall. Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Okay then.
Any friend of Brooke is a friend of mine, right? So
okay. Thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, Charles.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I have two quick questions. One is as far as the broker 101 on Facebook, has anything changed with that? Because all my things seem to be old.
Yeah, so that old freight is my old account was hacked, and I'm waiting 30 days. I'm waiting 30 days for Facebook to open me back up. In the meantime, I created a secondary Facebook account, and I think I created a secondary freight broker side of that.
I don't think you did, Charles, because I didn't see it yet.
So yeah, right here, freight broker members only. I thought I created a second one.
Okay.
So it's only me. I'm the only member. So let me copy.
There we go.
let me get you guys over here. Come on over, join. I was wondering why I was so lonely.
Yeah, I kept looking. Everything was so old. I was like, I don't know, something's going on.
So there's the new Freight Broker 101 under a different account name because the old one has been hacked and Facebook has locked me out while they're investigating the content of it to make sure I'm good, right? So in the meantime, I created a secondary one because I don't want this pace to slow down, right? We're moving now. This movement is moving. So people are joining right now. Let me make sure I make LaDonna an admin. So in case this nonsense happen again, I can have someone to.
So how does this work? You'll send us a link or?
Well, I just put the link in the chat.
Okay.
Unless you're on your, I'm assuming you're on your phone then.
No. I'll check it out. I don't have the chat up. My second question to you is I too am considering trying to hire someone on the dispatch side as well. And I was wondering if I could speak to either you or Mr. Nelson about what that would look like and how to set everything up and, contractual and all the rest of it. I have no idea how to start.
So like a sub agent or a sub dispatcher contract.
That's correct.
Right. So we can table that. We can set that. We can have that discussion sometime next week if you're available. I'm in Ohio until Monday, maybe Tuesday. I may go up to Detroit for a few more days, so I may not be back until next week, Thursday maybe. I don't know, but we'll have that conversation. Just please remind me.
Yes, no problem. I'll shoot you a text.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. So let me approve everybody. Come on over to the freight broker side over here so I can start putting updates over here in this one while we're waiting for Facebook to decide. I need to build my own platform as far as a social media. That way I don't have to worry about waiting for someone else to authorize me permission to say what I want to say on their platform. I can just create my own, right? My own social media platform. So, but okay. All right, so we're good, everyone? Just making sure everybody's good before we get off. And let me make sure I make LaDonna an admin before I even, I need to put questions in here, membership questions and things of that nature before I can continue and make sure I add. All right.
Hey, Charles, while I'm on the air, I want to say one more thing. I did have that conversation. I wanted to thank Donald for having that long talk with me. He helped me out a lot. Answer a lot of questions. So I want to give him a shout out, and the incredible honesty he keeps displaying out here. It's just incredible. I appreciate it all.
Isn't that's a rarity
Yeah,
especially in a volatile environment like transportation. It seems like people try to hoard and keep information from people that you don't need to keep from them. What point is it to keep that type of information from each other? I don't get it. Unless your spirit is selfish to begin with, before you even got into the transportation industry. That's how I read into it.
And the humility. And the humility. Just the honesty is just, through the roof.
Yes.
Very commendable.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I had a conversation.
No pleasure.
Yeah, Mr. Donald is I definitely got to meet him in person. That's gonna happen. So that's not even a question.
I feel the same way.
So, and speaking of which, I'm thinking about two, and I need to have this conversation with the ladies, Treve, Shante, and LaDonna. I don't know if I'm gonna do it every year, probably every year, but it's just gonna fill my plate up a little bit more. Like conferences, like a meet and greet conference every year, either here in Virginia Beach, or I either make my way to a particular city. We had that conversation initially, but for whatever reasons, our schedules just didn't align at the time. So it'll probably be easier for people to come to me, and I just have it centralized in my location initially. And then if I can branch out as we get the process down, then I probably will. But initially, you guys can come and we can walk on the sand and drink margaritas or something. I don't know, but at Virginia Beach. But
sounds good to me.
Wait a minute, Miss. Oh, we got a bishop on here. I'm sorry. We can drink. What's that? We can have communion, grape juice and crackers, right? So yeah, but yeah, we can meet and greet, put faces to the name, introduce ourselves, and just get to know the family a little bit more, a little bit better, So, and we're growing together. It's going to be like my goal initially with the dispatching and the freight broker side was to have a huge network of like-minded dispatchers as well as like-minded brokers working together and helping each other. Even though your businesses are separate, you are still interconnected by helping each other, right? So that was my goal, my initial philosophy and my initial mission statement of my business plan when I decided to do this platform. And thus far, it's on pace to stay that way. So I'm happy about that. So that's a good thing.
Are you still on par with the dispatcher conference?
Yes and no. I'll be honest, because of the setback with the accident, and then I'm dealing with some contracts myself that's causing me to actually really think some serious numbers. I got one contract that's a $1.7 million contract, and then another one is a small one. It's a 7-Eleven contract. That's like $300,000. That's box trucks, local, which I need to talk to Benita about because she's local with me. But I think her box trucks are down in Atlanta, I believe, Benita, right? So, but we got some 7-Eleven, because I have connections with local shippers where I'm at, and they are, I used to work with them and drive for them years ago, but now that they know that I'm doing what I do, they're saying, well, you're the first person we're going to call to see if you got some capacity. And I said, well, what is it going? We got like 8 to 10 pallets. I said, well, that's a box truck. So now we just got to tweak the numbers a little bit, because if the numbers are not right, I can care less the amount of the contract, because I'm not putting drivers in a no-win situation. That's not what I'm going to do. So yeah. All right. And then the other one is I got to get with Sadani Agility about the Eastern Seaboard ports, starting with the Port of Norfolk and working my way down to Charleston and Savannah and Port of Miami and all those, boom, 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 UIIA certifications and things like that. So that is a more serious contract, which requires a lot of my time. So it's kind of good that the every other week thing is coming in April, because I can use the off weeks to kind of really hone in those contracts and lock them in. Because once I get them, I'm definitely going to open it up to the network. That would make sense. If I get these contracts and not share it with the network, that's kind of defeating the purpose. So, but yeah. All right, so that's where I'm at, Conti.
Okay. All right, well, you take care of that blood pressure because you got us all going over here. So
yeah. You guys are going. You know, you guys got the foundation. I mean, I just put the data and the information into the platform. You take the information, you have access to it at your own pace, and boom, you can run with it. Now, at this point, it's pretty much automated, you know? So, yep.
Okay. All right, then I'll reach out with you next week.
Okay, yeah. Just text me, email, smoke signal, pigeon, however you want to get.
No problem. Okay. Appreciate you.
All right, everybody. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I got to do dispatch training tomorrow, and then I'm going to put out the word to any dispatchers who are local here in Ohio that we can do a meet and greet. I can treat them to lunch or something, one of these restaurants. My treat, sit down and have a talk and enjoy some lunch together. So before I head back to Virginia. So, yep.
Man, we love you, man.
Yeah, we do, Charles.
We love you, man.
I appreciate that, man. I love you guys. I'm just.
Yeah, thank you for everything, Charles. Thank you all, everyone in this group. Thank you all.
Yeah.
I'm just here to help, man. I'm just here to help. You guys are doing most of the work. I'm just providing the information. Gilbert, you said you're in Virginia all the time. Are you in Northern Virginia, or are you in the Hampton Roads area, South, like Virginia Beach, Norfolk?
Well, I just travel. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, but my dad worked at a Newport News shipyard, so I'm up there fishing a lot, or I play baseball up there a lot, so I'm always in Virginia.
What? Newport, you in bad news? Okay.
No, I'm not in bad news, but I be in bad news.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's like right across the right across the Monitor and Merrimack from me, because I stay out like in Harborview, which is right across the Monitor and Merrimack. So yeah, okay. Yeah, whenever you come back in there, just give me a call, text, or whatever. Hey, I'm in Virginia. All right, I'll be over there. Come over.
Yeah, let's sit down and chop it up. I definitely
because I'll do that instantly, because I remember a case with Chris, LaDonna's husband. He came into Franklin, which is an hour away from me. And he was in town, and I literally drove and sat down and had, we ate some, what was that? Chicken, Bojangles at the truck stop. Took pictures and everything, right, LaDonna? So yeah. Yeah, and Chris is a smooth operator. Good guy, funny guy. So yeah. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. I will see you guys next week, Tuesday, in the live. And then the dispatchers, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern. All right? Take care.